All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order for the Brawley City Council and successor agency to Brawley Community Redevelopment Agency. Regular meeting agenda for December 20th, 2022 at 6 p.m. here at the City Council Chambers in Brawley. We can have the roll call, please.
Mayor, let record reflect all council members are present.
All right, thank you. And next, we'll have the invocation led by Councilmember Hamby.
Stand if you can, bow our heads and pray. Our Heavenly Father, we are grateful to you again tonight for keeping us safe this past week and for bringing us here into these chambers tonight. We ask that you would oversee our proceedings tonight, that you would guide us as we begin a new year after our reorganization. I ask that you would bless each person that has made the effort to be here tonight, that you would watch over our city and our employees and our staff members. We thank you so much for the blessings that you give us each day here in the city of Brawley, and we ask that you would just be with us tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. The Pledge of Allegiance, if we can have our IT Director, Mr. Armando Garibay, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both very much. Mr. Garibay, your voice projected very well, so that was good. Good job.
Radio voice.
He's been practicing. He's been waiting for a while. All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
I'll motion to approve.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is public appearances and comments, not to exceed 4 minutes. This is a time for the public to address the council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you when you come to the microphone. Please state your name for the record. You are not allowed to make personal attacks on individuals or make comments which are slanderous or which may invade an individual's personal privacy. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. Is there anyone here from the public that would like to make a public comment? All right, sir, if you could please come up to that microphone. State your name for the record, please, sir.
How you guys doing today? My name is Joe Velarde, and I'm a parent. I'm also a coach for our wrestling team, all valley team that we have. And what we're looking for is a place, an indoor place for make it easier for our kids to practice at. We've been practicing outside the Boys and Girls Club, and with the temperatures that are going on right now, we've been having, as you can see, a lot of kids have been getting sick on us, and we were supposed to have more of a turnout, but a few of them are sick. But regardless, what I'm hoping to get from you guys today is maybe some assistance or a building that we can practice indoors just throughout the season. For now, yes, sir? Oh, I'm sorry. And that's what we're really here for, to see what you guys can do to facilitate that opportunity for our kids. We got some wrestlers from ages 5 to 13, and both male and female. And every kid that we have, they have some national title background, some state title background, and these are kids that are from 5 to 13. And this is what's making Brawley High School wrestlers great as they are, because of where we start them. And the only thing I'm asking for is just some assistance from you guys and some support in getting these 45 kids to continue the success that we've been going with our coaches, parents, staff, everybody that's helped out. We managed to all get our licenses, become coaches and parents, continue practices, pull money out of our pockets to go to these tournaments, go to these events. And the only thing I would ask for you guys is if you guys can help us out as far as getting these kids indoors to practice indoors, because we practice from 6 to 8:30 in the evening, and you know how fresh it is by that time.
Sure.
Right now.
How much space are you needing? Is that maybe that's a
we're
better
looking
question?
for maybe a 40 by 40 building.
How many kids do you have?
Actually, we have about 40
45?
kids
45?
from ages 5 to 13. And a few of those are already going to high school next year, going to be wrestling for their program. So it's a little bit difficult for the kids to, as you can see, be practicing outdoors. If anything that you guys can produce, Hidalgo, I mean, the senior center is not being used after a certain time maybe, we just practice Monday through Fridays. We can do 4 days a week because we also have tournaments that we attend to. And if we can, find a way to just get it from maybe 6 to 8:30 Monday, 4 days out of the week, we would really appreciate it. That would help our program out a lot.
Try to find something.
Mr. Mayor, maybe, maybe make the same suggestion of maybe just, getting with our city manager, and certainly we could check into numerous
Yeah.
options, some of which you put out, but again, until we dive into them, but that would be
Right,
my
certainly.
recommendation.
No, absolutely. I think that's a great one. So, deal with our city manager and, of course, our Parks and Rec manager, Rachel Fonseca, who's here as well. And so they would be the perfect points of contact. But this is a great place to come and express your request
Yeah,
here.
and like I said, I'm just talking as a parent and as a coach, and
Got it?
I want these kids to have that activity afterwards, because this is all after-school activity that we're
Right.
doing with them.
If there's a way we can help, we're certainly going to do that.
Oh,
you know.
that
I know
I
we're a
appreciate that. Thank
little
you very
limited
much.
with our availability of resources like that, but we certainly work with you.
Okay.
So,
And, I just want to bring that to you guys' attention.
I
and
appreciate it.
Just kind of introduce Team Tough,
Right?
Where,
Keep
where
tough.
are they? Can they stand up?
Stand up, boys.
Yeah,
Coaches,
stand up.
parents that are here today.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Ah.
guys.
Our head coach,
Thank you. guys.
head coach.
Is this a
parents,
threat?
coaches.
Is that what this is? No.
These are the ones that
Right,
are
I know.
helping us today.
I'm
Is it
afraid
in
of that,
case we
right?
said no?
I'm afraid of that, yeah.
So,
Right?
but you guys are more than welcome to come and see us. We practice, like I said, on the side of the Boys and Girls Club from 6 to 8:30. We're usually there. We put out the mats, we put them away, we fix
Okay.
everything, leave everything coordinated, and
So,
just
sorry, those mats are yours? They belong to you?
actually, yeah. they
Yeah,
belong
okay,
to
great.
Coach.
You know, we use it because Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, when he started up, we used some, like the teen center, and we used some of the office space on the north end of the Lions Center. There's probably a way to help you.
Oh, that would be greatly. Like I said, 4 days out of the week, just a couple hours. That's all I ask for from you guys to develop these kids into champions.
Yeah, we
Right.
need more, we want more champions,
I
keep the
appreciate
tradition
that.
going.
All right, well, staff will be in touch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Thank you very much for your time,
thank you
guys.
very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
Coach.
you.
Merry Christmas. If we don't see you.
Stay for the whole meeting, please.
Right, yeah, right, yeah. And like everybody now regrets it. They're like, why do we could have just zoomed in,
Yeah,
right? Huh?
we're gonna be kind of eyeballing everybody.
I know,
make
right?
sure we Stay right
Yeah,
there.
I know.
Waiting for-
Look, I'm gonna make eye contact with
Yeah.
all of you, so you can't
Waiting
leave.
for us to look
You know what I
away
mean?
and then
It's like,
boom.
no, I'm kidding. If you need to go, feel free. We're gonna go through this quickly. So any other member of the public would like to make a public comment on any item not appearing on the agenda? No? All right, so we're gonna move on. Are there any online comments? None. Okay, thank you. All right, so the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Items are approved by one motion. Council members or members of the public may request consent items be considered separately at a time determined by the mayor. Is there a motion to approve the consent?
I'll make a motion
I'll
to
second.
approve the consent.
There's a motion, I believe there's a second
Yes.
by Councilmember Hamby. So motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. Before we go on to the next item, city manager report, I just want to quickly just go over, as I'm leading these discussions and the role as mayor this year, as I've done in the past, I want to try to limit the time here at council. So I want to really limit that whenever we can to an hour and a half, and that means we just smooth through things, we keep things concise, we move forward, and we address things, obviously come prepared and with a backup material knowledge, and, try to limit discussion so we can all move forward and get the meeting through that process. So let's make that the goal. I obviously know that that's not always going to be the case. There's some items that take some time to discuss and vet out, but whenever possible, we'll try to keep the meetings as short as possible just so we can get and be concise with our time. So next item on the agenda, city manager report.
Well, I was gonna have a report, but.
Right, no, it's been
I'm
cut,
kidding.
right, no.
No,
Keep it short, yeah.
I'm gonna have Chief Duran come up for a couple of announcements on some good programs.
That's one way to cut your report short, have
Yep.
somebody else do it, right?
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Guy's not
Cut
gonna.
my time short now.
Right, there you go.
Well, good evening, members of the council, mayor, city manager, public, staff. Today, I have some great announcements. First of all, I want to talk about our community liaison unit. This is a project that they've been working on. We've been exploring some new ideas, new strategies to ensure that we serve the public better, expand our services. And thank God we were able to approve those 5 positions through this council, because in reality, this is what it's allowing me to stretch our personnel even beyond. Initially, we were going to wait to do it until we got the those positions filled, but I believe it's necessary. This is important, what this community liaison unit is going to do. I actually provided you with a executive summary, that way you can see what this is all about. And I'm going to go through it briefly, but again, we are stretching our personnel by doing so, but we are hoping that we're going to do some recruiting soon. As you know, we are swearing 3 officers on Thursday, so that's good. And again, that's thanks to the policy that you approved for recruitment. So we're actually going to swear in 3 experienced officers, one with 9 years, one with 15, and one with 20. So these are officers they elected to come and work here in the city of Brawley. So this is good. So I do appreciate your support on what you've been doing in the past, because this is what's
And that was a
going on.
quick implementation, so thank you for that. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
So I'm just going to go down through this really quick in the interest of time. So the purpose of the Community Liaison Unit is to actively engage and improve relations with our community through officers who are consistently and directly in touch with individual residents, community organizations, and local businesses. Community liaison officers focus on problem solving, identification, and crime prevention in relation to serious related crimes, as well as quality of life issues throughout the community. The purpose of the Community Liaison Unit is to actively engage and improve relations with members of the community through consistent and direct contact with individual residents, community organizations, and local businesses. Community liaison officers will focus on problem solving, identification, and crime prevention in relation to these type of crimes. So the duties that we have here are 7. These are the 7 basic duties. One of the issues that we have in our city and throughout the nation and throughout the state is homeless individuals who sometimes tend to cause quality of life issues and engage in criminal activity. So part of the duties of these officers, we will be assigning 2 officers from our existing pool of officers that we have. So we're just going to do some reallocations. So this is not going to be new officers. And what they're going to be doing is contacting these individuals and try to link them with community programs, with social services, with nonprofits, where anybody that can help us, give them a hand, because a lot of these individuals do need a hand, and we're hoping to be that helping hand and get some of these NGOs involved as well in helping that out. One of the other things that we're going to do, as we have as number 2, is engaging crime prevention programs. This is something we have not done. This is a reality. We're about to change that. We're going to start working with our businesses, our visitors, our local residents, and change that. We have the confidence that we're going to be able to solve a lot of the problems, a lot of the quality of life issues, like things that we all complain about, that like trash in the alleys, business dumpsters being overrun by individuals, things like that. So we're going to work with that. On top of that, something that we haven't had in a while is community volunteer programs. As you know, our PAL has been non-existent for about 10 years. We didn't have a Explorer program until recently. As you know, we really got that going.
And Chief, just sorry to interrupt, but how many Explorers are there now? Active?
22 at this point.
22? Yeah.
And unfortunately, we had to turn some back, so we had to pick we did a vetting process because we had no choice. It's just, it was a staffing issue for me.
Right.
We couldn't handle more than 22. But
That's
that,
awesome.
again, as we hire more officers and we get the community involved, because now we're getting some volunteers in. So once we get community advisors, volunteers, we'll be able to expand that. One of the goals is to start a Junior Explorer program, and we will be doing that soon as we get our SRO at the middle school. So that's something we don't see in any other city. So we're going to have an Explorer program for the high school, Junior Explorer program for the middle school. And that leads me to talk a little bit about the partnership that we're having with them. That's going to help us do after-school programs. We are thinking about launching through the Community Liaison Unit a boxing program related to the police department, along with PAL. As you know, we don't have PAL. We're working on doing CPR on our PAL. That's what I called it, because it's really non-existent. So we're working on a lot of that. We're also working on potentially doing some tutoring programs through PAL and through the police department for after-school programs, and also a physical fitness program. So let's see the 3 items that we are going to engage the school system. And in our conversation, it seems like we're going to be able to get some funding through the schools and link it through the police department as well. So that's going to be good.
Exciting. Everything you've said you're going to do, you've done. So I know it's going to happen. Great work. Yeah.
Now, on number 3, we talk about some of these programs that are volunteers, like our chaplains program is being pretty effective. That's to care for our own personnel. we mentioned BCAT, that's the Brawley Community Awareness Team, and I'll talk about that here in a little bit. I got a separate flyer for that. But going to number 3 really quick, we're definitely going to support youth programs that are already developed. They've been developed by the community partners, so we're just going to try to help out anybody that we can in any way we can. We're going to try to be those mentors in our community, try to lead these kids as best we can. We do believe and we know that the future is our children, and if we don't take care of them, then who will? So we're going to try to up it up here. We're going to really develop that communication, number 5, produce those relationships that are much needed, so we can actually read the expectations of the community and employ it in our current strategies. And we've been doing that, but I think with this, we're about to start doing it even better. So as you know, our crime has gone down considerably. Our homicide rate is to 0 now, so thank God this year, no homicides. We went from 4 homicides, 5 homicides to 0 this year. And if you go years back, we were having homicides as well. So I think we have accomplished a lot. Now going to number 6, as you know, we're working with the schools, and they've been our greatest partners. They're authorizing funding to support our efforts as far as school resource officers. We're still in conversations with them now because it looks like we may even get additional school resource officers that are much needed out there, and I'm feeling pretty confident. And that's where we're going to link as far as the partnerships to do like some of the after-school programs with them. And again, a lot of this is going to be run through PAL, a lot of it through the police department, but we're still we're about to take off. We believe that next year is going to be a wonderful opportunity to serve our community and take it to the next level. And of course, number 7, we're going to continue working with agencies and focus on our community and stuff like that. Implementing some proactive strategies. So the idea is to have these CLOs, what we call them, community liaison officers, is to engage the community, gain their trust, because it's going to be the same 2 officers there. We're hoping that every business owner is going to have their cell phone. That way you know who to call, you feel confident, and the community as well. So we're going to be reaching out. We're going to be trying to go as many meetings as we can through these officers in the effort to that we can bridge, the community. So that's our goal with this. I'm trying to be as short as I can. But if you have any questions, I would definitely do my best to answer it. But as you can see here, we have the basics.
Great work. Since you're up here, Chief, can you talk just briefly about the gunshot detection software that you...
Yes, we're actually working on that now. We're testing. We did some testing right now. We're adjusting the sensors. This gunshot detection software and hardware is called Raven. It's a system that will pinpoint where a gunshot came from. We did some testing this week. We're readjusting sensors and calibrating some of the equipment. Hopefully we'll do some more tests next week. And we're hoping that if we are successful, we can hopefully one day go citywide. There's some cities that have it. And I know there's some grant funding out there, and of course that's going to be one of our targets. But we are testing the system now.
Thank you.
So that's something that should help us out with current issues.
Certainly.
Now, any questions about the community liaison unit?
Any questions? No? Good information so far.
Okay, so this is, now the second one, it's a flyer. It says on the very top, it's get involved. So I'm glad there's a lot of community residents here. So I'm going to ask you all, get involved. This is what we're calling a Brawley Community Awareness Team. In essence, it's a volunteer services unit that is going to help us. We need the community's help. We can't do it alone. We need your eyes, we need your ears, we need your support in different ways. And we're hoping that this unit is going to help us just do that. And some of the duties that we included here, you can see really quick on the flyer. So tomorrow is our launch. Today we wanted to show it to the public and the council. So this will be going on social media. We're going to be pushing it out. We're going to start taking applications as of tomorrow. So the duties for this volunteer services unit is to patrol city neighborhoods, to assist with administrative work, help us with traffic control, do vacation watch, because a lot of times we get a lot of vacation watch requests, and given our amount of personnel, we can't do them all, or we do it as best we can, and that's not enough. So we believe this, our citizens can help us do vacation watch, help us out with special events like our cattle call, our parades, or any event that we have, help us with missing person searches, vehicle inventories, and to help us monitor some surveillance cameras that we have recently installed. As you know, we got several, and we're working on doing a monitoring station, and we hope that the community can help us through these programs, help us monitor these cameras. And again, the duties are outlined there. I won't go through them, but anybody that wants to join this team can contact Sergeant John Tang. Sergeant John Tang is going to be our community liaison sergeant. So his cell phone number is there, and his email is there. So anybody that would like to serve, help us do our job and protect your community. We're here to serve you with passion. That's our new motto, serving with passion, and we really believe it. And that's what we're going to do this year. We're going to up it up. We really brought a lot of the things under control now as far as criminal activity. So our next level is go and reach out to the community and expand services.
Right. Great job, Chief. Thank you very much. As I've said, and for the public's benefit, Chief has been on board for how long now, Chief? How's it?
It'll be 2 years tomorrow.
2 years tomorrow. Big round of applause for him. That's great. That's great. So 2 years tomorrow, but I can tell you, he's come in and he has said several things to us, and everything he said that he's going to implement, he has, along with his team. And so it's been a tremendous change in that department and throughout the city. And so it's a great leadership. I appreciate it, Chief. And he's also brought in multiple millions of dollars in grant funding and other things. So it's been a blessing for our community. So good job on that. And congratulations on your 2nd-year anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. City manager report continued. Anything else you'd like to add? Not at the moment. That was your report. There you go. There you go. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Next item is regular business. Is 5A, and don't feel obligated if you need to get out of here. I realize that we joked about you sticking around, but you don't have to.
That was the price for.
Yeah, that was the price for admission, right? All right. So next item is regular business 5A, review and approve the American Rescue Plan Act spending plan and budget as modified, and direct staff to continuing providing progressive updates every 6 months until all funds are spent. Presented by Carla Romero, Finance Director, City Treasurer. All right.
But my presentations are always so exciting.
There they are, right?
Good evening, everyone. Today, we have for you our 3rd American Rescue Plan update. There are no new programs being presented tonight, so it should be a pretty quick update. As a reminder, we do have the original plan that was adopted in December of 21, and also the 6-month update provided in June of 22 on our website. After tonight, based on feedback, direction, or any input, we will provide this update also on our website as a reference for the public. So the city has already received the total allotted amount of $6.2 million for our ARPA money. Most of the funds must be spent by December 31st of 2024, with the exception of water and wastewater. We have an additional 2 years to spend those funds. And a lot of that money is for our Main Street improvements that you will see. It's the biggest chunk of the appropriated budget. These expenses do still fall under federal guidelines. Reporting and auditing requirements exist. We are in full compliance with all of those requirements. And the purpose of these ongoing updates is to allow and encourage public input, and just to share with the public what it is that we are currently doing, how we are spending funds, and the progress based on the current budget. We have committed expenses of just over $2 million, meaning that is money out the door, already under contract, or coming in pretty quickly to be expensed. The way that we have provided this update is anything in green has been fully completed, anything in yellow is currently underway, meaning it will be completed within the next 6 months, and then those noted in red are any changes from the last update that we provided in June 6 months ago. So you see on the right there, a lot of the projects or budgeted items that we have are currently underway, have made great momentum, and these span across numerous different departments, everything from IT, Public Works, Finance, Police, Parks and Rec. Everybody has a little piece that they are working on, and departments are having great progress in what they are doing and moving along. So we do have one item there that's in red. That's the citywide phone system, also being presented tonight as an item. We did amend the budget slightly to reduce it. We are anticipating some savings. You'll see on that item The ARPA funding is a lot lower than that, but we didn't amend the budget yet because we still have equipment that might be needed in order, like headsets, things like that. And we want to be able to make sure we have a proper budget before we reduce that. But you should see a reduction in that in the June update. And then the next set of items here, there are two more additional completed items regarding IT infrastructure that has been done. Again, a lot of stuff in yellow that's been ordered, underway, almost completed. We do have two items there at the bottom that have a 12-month back order. It's really hard to get some of this very specialized equipment in, but the purchase orders have been issued, and those are anticipated to come in within budget. And the last set here, we have two additional items with updates. The touchless doors are nearly installed in all of the facilities except for finance. Finance requires new doors. We have one that was vandalized. All the glass was broken out. We have to replace it. And we really don't want that to continue to happen, so we're actually replacing 3 doors to make sure that they are compatible with the new system. And the doors are on back order. So as soon as they get in, this will be checked off the list. And then the Lion Center facility upgrades, slight reduction there, just a reallocation of funding. And I know we're working on some additional potential reallocation of this budget as well to present to you in the future. So that really concludes my update. I'm happy to provide or answer any questions that you might have. Again, we anticipate providing another update in June of 2023. And just here to answer questions.
I mean, the dollar figures look close to what you expected to spend, right? And so,
Yes.
right, yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I got it. For the water, for the Main Street, water line on Main Street from 8th Street East Ave, what's the timeline for, and I asked because I know I talked with Tyler how, costs that were allocated now, December 2022 cost for construction will not be the same in December 2023. And we saw that at the junior high, where we got allocated a certain amount, and now a year later, a few years later, it doesn't carry the same weight. So what's the timeline to get this, just so we're not, struggling with funding?
So this particular project has, I believe, 5 different funding sources with a total of about $12 million. So there are multiple funding sources. It's not just the ARPA money. I know that they did markings in the street recently. We had some road kind of detours happening about 3 weeks ago, I would say. Our Public Works Director is not here. He's not online either. So I don't know exactly on the timeline, unless, Tyler, you have another update.
I think we're anticipating actual construction of some sort in the 23-24 budget year.
Okay, so June, after June.
Design and testing and all that's has started right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so the RFP will likely be issued in the spring for actual construction and then awarded in the summer, and then, yes, construction beginning in the fall or late or around this time next year.
Cool.
And as we go, we'll be able to nail that down
Yeah,
closer.
no, yeah, I was just, so how much, okay, so $2 million spent, how much are we tied to all this? And I ask because, it's real great, I think, tackling infrastructure and things that seem like long needed, things that need to be addressed. And I see the premium payment for employees, and I was a benefit of that in my place of employment. Was there ever discussion though, and possible for like relief for the public? And I ask because, the next item is gonna discuss a increase potentially. And so is there any flexibility? And I know the administration of it would be difficult, but any discussion on like public relief program for, say, waste?
The ARPA guidelines allow for potential businesses that were affected by COVID to have some sort of relief and program, but not necessarily just giving out money to the public.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah, because I know, like I said, at the county, I know they gave out loans and eventually became just grants. And so just saying that, just seeing how we can.
Yeah.
We also had multiple utility grants through COVID that we.
That's exactly what I was.
And that has been offered, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a couple $100,000, I believe. Right.
Yes.
So-
We do have a list of, when we originally presented the plan, there was an additional list, I would think, of $2 or $3 million worth of projects that we also had kind of on back order or able to fund with ARPA, but these were designated as the most important or critical ones. And as additional funding becomes available, we go back to that initial listing and also take a look at what else do we currently need, and then present it for potential additional funding at that point.
Our needs are much greater than the list, by far.
Yes. For sure.
Just one thing I'd like to point out, and you can confirm for the public out there, one of the comments that I received shortly after the premium payments, we excluded ourselves from receiving the premium payments. So I just want to put that out there because I received a lot of calls. I said, well, I didn't receive anything. Tyler owes me some money. So, we didn't get any money.
That
I
is
just want
correct.
to put that out there. Other cities did that, other elected bodies did that. We did not.
You didn't get it?
Somebody.
No council members, current or past, received any type of.
Oh, you mean you
ARPA
got-
funding.
Starbucks gift card.
Right?
Another question about the Main Street water line improvement. It says from 8th Street to Eastern Avenue. What about the, from 8th Street west to Brawley Avenue? Is that a Guillermo question?
That's a Guillermo
Okay.
question. I'm
All right.
sorry.
I just
I
didn't know
will
if
ask
it-
him to provide an update at the next meeting if possible.
if the other funding sources are for that,
They are.
that section, okay.
Yeah, because remember, we have relinquishment funds, we have other things
Yes,
as well.
yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, the 3 million is specifically for the water line portion of the improvements.
Okay.
Yes.
In that
Not
section.
not the road, the street surfacing or
Yeah,
anything like
right,
that.
right.
See how fun government is, everyone? That is just a whole lot of fun, right?
So, Mr. Mayor, do you need a motion to approve?
Is there a motion to approve the item?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
The ARPA plan.
There's a motion and there's a second.
They'll get out of that one.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you for the update. All right, so the next one is by our finance director, city treasurer as well. It's regular business 5B, discuss and approve a 4% consumer price index CPI rate increase to current refuse services for commercial and residential customers in the city of Brawley, provided by Republic Services, effective January 1st, 2023.
Why are you laughing, George?
George Taylor is in
George
the
Taylor,
audience
that's
to
right.
he's gonna have
back
to
me
come
up.
up,
Right?
too. He's gonna have to come up, talk
George
about these
Taylor is the
numbers.
operations manager for Republic Services. He is here tonight to answer any questions that I am not able to. Again, 2 slides here that we'll go over. The contract does have a consumer price index increase in it every year. The 2023 CPI rate increase total would be 4.24%. However, the city of Brawley has a 4% cap, and that is the maximum allowed per the contract. What that translates to is about $1.01 for residential customers on a monthly basis, and about $7.23 for commercial customers, again, on a monthly basis. And that's in yellow there in the middle of the screen. It shows the current rates for both residential and commercial customers and what they will become if this item is approved. Just something to note here, within the backup in the letter, there's an extraordinary item increase referencing the organic waste recycling charges. Those are not being approved tonight. That would be an additional about 3.86%, which would add an additional about $1.01 for our residential customers on top of the current $1.01 increase for the CPI. So what we are doing with the organic waste component, sorry, it's not clicking away. So we are working very closely with Republic Services and also with our neighboring cities, Calexico and Imperial, because they also utilize Republic Services for their waste collection, and we figured if we synergize and we have the same proposed rate, we can get together and amend our contracts accordingly and make sure that we are fully understanding both the implementation, the ongoing cost, how they're structured, and then come together as one to present the item to you at a future date. Likely
just
March,
for-
April of '23.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
Just for the public's benefit that's here, the organic waste component is something that was implemented by the state of California. So not only are you going to have recyclables, waste, just your waste, green waste, but you're also going to have organic waste, which is like food. So you have to separate that, and it's an unfunded mandate, meaning they don't give us any money to implement this stuff. They just expect the public to pay for it. And so here's something else that you're going to have to do, unfortunately. So just wanted to put that out there because it's just another mandate by the beautiful state of California, so.
Yep.
Yes, and our commercial businesses, most of them have already implemented and are already paying for the fee. The residential customers have not been impacted yet.
If we could, when that comes up, I know that in the past, we've had a discussion about fines and the costs that is passed down to our, to our,
Tax base.
Ratepayers.
to George. I'm just I'm blanking out. I'm trying to think of the name of the company, Republic Services. We did discuss last year that because we mix organics with recyclables, that it's an increased cost to their operation. So, I mean, I would like to include that, right? Obviously, we're gonna save you some money. I would like to include some sort of penalty for mixing them, would help to offset some of that cost. And then obviously, so that we can minimize the impact on residents. And as we discussed in a couple weeks ago, George, I mean, I want to make sure that we hit them as little as possible. It's not your fault. It's not Republic's fault. It's not the residents' fault, but it's not the city's fault either. So we just want to get to a point where it's a win-win or minimize losses for all parties
Well,
involved.
the ones that are gonna pay is the city,
Yeah.
ultimately, right?
Yeah,
And so,
ultimately.
what happens though is that, I mean, trying to govern that is gonna be so difficult,
Right.
absolutely difficult.
I mean, we're gonna have to
So-
bite the bullet eventually.
Right,
But
that's
One of
exactly it.
Mayor, Council, one of the things that we could look at, we didn't propose this, but one of the things that we could look at is we've sort of put a price for our commercial customers and then no rate for our residential customers. We could change that rate structure. We have a cost, right? And it could be delegated or relegated to our commercial customers more than our residential customers if need be. So that's something that we could revisit with Tyler and Finance if we have to, depending on your council.
Understood,
Yeah.
thank you.
So I know SB, it's what stems from SB 1383, correct? But also I know AB 1985 so it gives additional time for cities to comply, is that correct? At least 2 additional years, if I'm misunderstood?
SB 1383 compliance needs to be January 1st, 2023.
Yeah.
But the financial penalties don't start until
Yeah.
2024.
And so AB 1985 plays what role? Since it just got signed, it delayed it? I thought it delayed it, or at least
It gives a grace period.
grace period, correct?
Grace period for the
Yeah.
financial
For the
Yeah.
penalty.
hammer on
Yeah.
on the
So-
agencies.
who would get hammered, the city
Yeah.
or
City.
Republic?
The city.
Cities.
The
And
city
so
does.
I know it was contingent on cities' plans, correct? And what cities are doing to reduce, I think, 30% in this first year? So what are the cities' plans, or at least Republic and that?
The
part?
plans are there, I mean, they've been
Right,
discussed
so-
thoroughly,
Okay.
so.
So we, part of this program, we have hired a recycling coordinator. And that, for the city of Brawley, coordinator is working with Stephen Morales to make sure that you're in compliance. We have a date that you will be in compliance as of January 1st, 2023.
The plan compliance, and then the implementation of it, who knows what that, you know what I mean?
Correct.
So,
And we'll continue to
Yeah.
work with Stephen. Our group will continue to work with
So-
Stephen and then provide reporting to Cal Recycle to make sure you're in
those
compliance.
countertop trash cans will be used to, as mop buckets or whatnot, you know what I mean? So,
Or, you know,
Probably will.
Again, the
Yeah.
paper bags, remember, they
Mhm.
become organic once they're soiled, so that's an easy
Right.
solution to this.
Correct.
And
Anyway.
I understand rural counties, really, cities are struggling with this because of the infrastructure. Do we have local infrastructure to handle this? Are we sending it out? I know Yuma, right, has some sort of organic waste.
So the way we are handling it is we are taking it to our landfill here locally, and then we are transporting it or transferring it to our compost facility in Yuma, at our Copper Mountain landfill. It seems like to be the least amount of cost for the community by doing it that way. Otherwise, we would have to build an infrastructure to then compost, which we have in San Diego, a lot bigger facility, a lot more volume. We're not quite doing to that point at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
Remind me, in addition to the countertop bins, are we getting an extra, a fourth trash can for outside, for organics? No.
Not for the residents. The residents can utilize their current green waste container and put food waste in it.
Okay.
The goal with the countertops is to minimize the time that the food is in the green waste container.
Gotcha.
Right. Make it convenient for you to take it out to the green waste container. The commercial customers will have a green waste container. That is addition. So they will have the 3-container system now if they don't already have that.
You could just stink up your house,
Right,
not the
yeah.
outside. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's, I was gonna say, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm sure
Right.
we're all looking forward to
Right.
the summertime with that,
Right.
with that organic waste on the curb.
I know, I'm sorry. I know we're contractually, right, to the CPI. When was the last time the CPI was, I guess, increased? Every year? Have we seen it historically increase every year?
It's
or-
it's in the contract annually. We use the a CPI from,
So in 2019, we converted the CPI index from the CPI's all urban,
all urban. to
which was
the-
at 6%. We
Yep.
converted it to water, sewer, trash, which was at 4%.
Yep.
And so consistently, CPI has been outdistancing water, sewer, trash. And then we put the cap on at 4%.
Right.
But yes, it's in the contract. Every year, they use the October figures for the CPI indexed to be effective January 1st with a cap of 4% annually.
One of the things that could be suggested, though, is that we move that October up to give the council more time because once we get the number in November, we communicate that number in November, December, and then it makes it for a tight approval process.
Implementation,
Yes,
right.
correct.
I mean, if you go August, I mean, that's kind of, are gas prices included? Is that part of the formula? I mean, usually that's when it's high, and then, I mean.
Yeah, we don't-
October's a good month.
Yeah, October is usually a good month. You are correct, Council. We use water, sewer, trash, so fuel is not a part of
Okay,
a part of that
that was
number.
my question then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So fuel is
Thank
at
you.
this point is around 17%, I believe it is actually.
All right, so thank you for
Sure.
the additional information. Carla, is there any additional information you'd like to provide?
Thank you, George. You're a good sport.
I'm good, thank you.
I'm good, she says. There we go. All right, so the desire of council, any discussion on this item?
No, no, never mind, I'm sorry.
A motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second?
There's a second. Any discussion by council? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Hey,
Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is item 5C, review and approve awarding up to $110,348.33 for up to 5 years to purchase and implement a citywide unified communication as a service contract with Ring Central, Inc., and further authorize the city manager to execute contract and agreements presented by Armando Garibay, Director of Information Technology. Mr. Garibay.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Armando Garibay, Director of IT. Before you, I have a approval for a purchase of a new phone system for the city, which includes a 5-year agreement. If I may, I wanted to show a slide here.
That one right there, yep. Yep.
I also have on the phone our contractor from Ring Central, available for any questions.
You would think he'd call in, you know?
gotta get transferred.
Took a while, you notice that? Took a
So
while
what
for
we
it to
did in September is we issued an RFP and had 15 different proposals. And we had a group of representative for every department that attended these demos. And we finalized the selection to Ring Central. And we will be using ARPA funding for this project, so that zero money out of our general fund will be used for this. We did contact multiple references, and the good thing about Ring Central is it actually used by a lot of local agencies. And actually the state, they just brought on the state. So it's a very vetted system. A lot of technology that comes with this new system that we currently don't have. It's an antiquated system we have now, so this brings us to the next generation of being able to communicate. And as we know, the city is a 24/7 operation for public safety, fire, and our public works operations. But that is not just the most important thing. What we want to focus is have proper communication with our residents and our internal staff. And so this gives us a few additional features that we just don't have. And on the screen, there's just a few of them. Just a spare time, I won't go through every single one of them.
So, something as simple as like call routing, when somebody calls a department
Oh, I see
and they
that.
can't transfer, this is able to do that.
You nailed
And so, right,
You nailed it, Mayor. That is one of our challenges that we have now is when a resident calls the wrong number or a different department and we need to route them. Currently, we have to ask them, oh, yeah, can you hang up and dial this number instead of being more proactive with our customer service and just
Right.
routing that call directly for them.
right.
Here's a little bit of information about what Ring Central does and what they offer for us. There will be a full collaboration for us. We'll be able to do just like a Zoom, right, to hold presentations in it. We'll be able to, just like your Microsoft Teams, to do chatting within our organization. And we'll also be able to do something as easy as voicemail to email, right? And we can do this with desk phones, and we can do this with soft phones. And what a soft phone is just a software that would be running on the computer, or it could be running on a smartphone. And so then that limits the need for specific physical handsets.
Extension
To be on,
handsets,
be on,
yeah, right.
on the desk and save quite a bit of money for us. On the left there shows the research we did in all the departments and the number of lines and extensions we needed. Towards the right, there are expenses that are going to come out of one-time ARPA funds. What's the most interesting thing is by migrating to the system, we'll be seeing quite a bit of
PBX system?
almost a 60% in savings every month. It is costing us roughly over $4,000 a month right now with our existing system. We'll be going down to roughly $1,500 a month.
Wow.
So that is a big savings.
Mm-hmm.
That was saved by eliminating the city manager's phone.
There you go, right?
I mean, you have a cell phone, right?
Yeah,
Good.
no, that's great. That was the very important. That's about 60% monthly
Right.
savings
Right.
and ongoing.
And not only that, but it's massive improvement from what we have, you know, and this is, quite honestly, should have been done 10 years ago, you know, it's just the technologies are now, and it's amazing, so that's good.
Good job. We can use those savings to hire your assistant.
There you go. See?
Thank you. So if you guys have any additional questions, I can entertain them, and I also have a vendor on the phone if you guys need a deeper.
Oh, now you say he's on the phone, see? He was on the.
Sorry,
Right,
on
right, right,
Zoom.
no, I'm kidding. All right, is there a motion to approve this item?
I'll motion.
There's a motion to approve, is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Armando. And good job on that Pledge of Allegiance,
Command voice.
right? All right. You should have called it in right there. All right. Next item on the agenda is item 5D, discussion, and potential action to approve Resolution 2022- to accept $33,310 grant from MLBPA Youth Development Foundation. This grant will fund the construction of a T-ball field to support expansion of the Brawley Boys and Girls Club of Imperial Valley T-ball program, further approve associated budget adjustments, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreements presented by Rachel Fonseca, Parks and Recreation Manager.
Good evening, members of the council. Rachel Fonseca, Parks and Recreation Manager. The item before you is a request to approve a resolution to accept a grant from the MLBPA Youth Development Foundation to construct a T-ball field at Pat Williams Park and to approve the associated budget adjustment. As you may know, the city's fields are in very high demand due to expanding programs, and the Boys and Girls Club T-ball program is expanding and has created a need for another field. So to help fill this need, staff applied for a grant through the MLB to support the need. Staff was successful in securing the MLB grant, and the MLB grant will cover the infield such as the backstops, home plate, bases, dugouts, sod and clay, and park development impact fees will cover the remainder of the work needed, such as the bleachers, lighting, grading, and irrigation. The estimated cost to construct the field is $250,000, and the project must be completed by December of 2023. Staff is requesting the council's approval of the resolution and budget adjustments to accept the funds and to move forward with the project.
All right, is there, A desire by council to approve this item?
Absolutely.
Of course.
All right. So, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion by council?
Good job, Rich.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Play ball.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so the next item is also by our Parks and Recreation Manager. That is 5E. Discuss and approve Chamber of Commerce for Greater Brawley request for street closure of Main Street between East and West Plaza Street. This request is in support of the Ivy International Brisket Cook-Off event for the request for waiver of all city fees associated with street closure and allow the sale of alcohol during the event, presented by Rachel Fonseca.
Good evening, members of the council. Rachel Fonseca, Parks and Recreation Manager. So Parks and Recreation received a request from the Chamber of Commerce to hold the Ivy International Brisket Cook-Off on Main Street on January 21st, 2023. I know the staff report says 2022. They have 3 requests for council's approval. 1A, close Main Street between East and West Plaza, Friday, January 20th, 4 p.m. to Saturday, January 21st, 6 p.m. Waive all fees associated with the event, permission to sell alcohol, and these are 3 separate action items outlined as 1A, 1B, and 1C on the staff report.
I think the only concern I would have is just we have to start maybe getting away from these long closures. It is, routing traffic, and it is costly. There's thousands of dollars and then a lot of city resource going into this. So I know it's a big request, but the more events that they have, there just has to be that consideration for time, for staff time, for the money expensed on that. So there's a lot of staff time that's spent on these things, and it's thousands and thousands of dollars. And not only that, but it's rerouting traffic for 2 days.
For this fiscal year, it will be close to 6-figure.
Yeah.
For when you add all the closures for time and equipment and staff.
So close to $100,000 in
I can get
closure
you
expense.
exact figure in the future, but
Yeah.
Do we have you ever considered any alternate sites and any alternate sites and discuss that with the chamber? I mean, I get it. I like this stuff. We want to see this stuff happening. But we also remember we were on a real tight budget here at the city. So, $100,000, do we see the return on investment on that? I mean, it's not even close. So we need to be mindful of that. Perhaps discuss with the chamber an alternate site that, would be more appropriate and affordable for the city. Obviously.
In the past, I've been involved in different parts of, the chamber organization and, of course, the city council, but it seems to bring a lot of people together. I think it's a great community event, and it brings a lot of people, but, it's just the matter of fact is that it's costly. It's very costly. And then rerouting traffic, I think, the location's great. It's just maybe if there was use of one side of the park as opposed to the entire Main Street, where you're cutting everything off and then having to reroute everything.
I mean, 3-4 events there a
Right.
year probably be great, but I mean, one every other week.
Right, and so, it gets expensive. And not only that, but quite frankly, it's a lot of rerouting, that's just my concern.
Just perhaps look at another way to use the area without having to use up so many city resources.
And I think, quite frankly, the partnership between the city and the chamber is improving. I'm going to be meeting with the CEO here the next few days over a few things, and I can have that discussion with him. But it's just one thing we have to consider. I mean, I know that there's a lot of expense in shutting down the streets, and there's a lot of staff time committed. And we're hearing now that it's about $100,000 over the course of the year, right, the fiscal year. But I'm not opposed to the event. It's just one of those things that I think needs to be discussed.
If I may add, for this event in particular, the street closures are a little bit less than what we normally do. It's, I don't know, do we have a map of it? It was in the packet, but I don't know if we have. Where it's just the 2 main streets as opposed, which will help with the community during the day and that type of thing, but.
Correct, understood.
I guess what would be the estimated, just the cost of it? I don't see a number on here, but I guess a ballpark figure, what's the cost to?
Depending what it is, but with the estimates we've heard in the past, or,
10,000 per event. Or
Maybe
more. Yeah.
20,000 for just a smaller event. I know the cattle call stuff overall was close to 70 to 80.
Yeah, it gets very expensive.
All the events.
Because you have staff time, you have the equipment, you have, you know, the
definitely.
rerouting. There's a lot of expense, I think, that people don't recognize. And what we had been proposing is like $500, and they don't even want to pay that. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like,
Yeah, I like said Council Mayor Pro Tem's, you know, we have a lot of parks, east and west side alike. We don't have to keep utilizing the same areas, either downtown or west. We have Alistair Root, you know, we have some really nice areas across town that I think, if they want these fees waived, it's like, okay, here you go. So I think there's some opportunities, so. What about, do you know, like, I mean, Imperial has so many events. I'm not trying to apple to oranges, but how do the other cities recoup their costs? Do we know? I mean.
other cities have, for example, like the city of El Centro, they have budgeted dollars, but they're high budgets because they have tax proposals that pay for them. So we don't, yeah, they have a lot of money dedicated to their events, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Obviously, we don't put on the events as a chamber, so there is expense with them, you know, and they're underwriting part of that cost, but quite frankly, the partnership, and this is where I think there has to be a clear understanding between the chamber and the city in that we're investing tens of thousands of dollars. They don't always see that.
Right.
So they think, well, you know, we're putting on the event, yeah, but you're not paying for all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
We are, you know, and so we're taking on that expense.
Now they know.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, because I know in the past, this topic definitely comes up, right? And we've discussed it, I think, at length at other times when we were looking just across the city of bringing back and implementing fees where we really didn't historically have any.
Right.
So there's been a lot of that, and I think we kind of turned that around a little bit. But maybe just reference to this, I know my assumption is they've got an event coming up here pretty soon. I guess there's one more meeting in theory, you know, prior to the event. But I would be inclined if we can have a forward-looking discussion in a partnership with the chamber, like you said. Not only is that improving, the events have been fantastic. I know that's our investment in that.
Yeah.
So I think a little bit of the answer, some of the ROI is a little soft,
Sure.
right? It's hard to measure, right? An exact dollar per head is what we get.
But the collaboration, I think, needs to be
Yeah.
highlighted, absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know?
The collaboration and also the cost sharing. That's where I
Sure.
was going. So I think if we had a little bit more of a forward-looking discussion with the chamber of, look, guys, these are our costs as best we can measure them and pinpoint them. Obviously, they're not going to have something in their budget that can offset that cost, but perhaps going back to, like you even mentioned, the $500.
Our logo on things, you know, and then the
Yeah.
fact that it's a mutual event along with the city, I think goes a long way, you know, because there has been discussion, I've heard it, where the chamber feels, you know, like the city's trying to take credit for events, you know. Well, quite frankly, we're paying $100,000 for, you know, think about that. So why shouldn't we take some credit for it, you know? And maybe they're implementing the idea, but whatever that is.
I may be
it's still-
going against the grade here a little bit, Mr. Mayor, but where I was kind of driving with this, I think we need to have and continue to have those discussions so we can improve this equally, right, across.
Sure.
We have other users, right, and organizations.
Sure.
That, and just as Councilmember Revelar mentioned, there's some compromises, right, we can make in terms of what type of closure or no closure at all, right, if we can mitigate costs that way. But my suggestion is, if I can make the case that we can move their event forward. I think it might be exciting.
Yeah,
It sounds
I don't-
new.
I don't
you
think
know, for
there's-
January and kickoff, see
Well,
how it goes, right?
The
Could be a
Elks
good
did
event.
something,
Yeah.
and they've done something, and they
Yeah.
closed, they asked for a closure as well in
Yeah.
the same vein as the brisket, you know, so.
Yep.
We'll see what that turns out to be.
Better
Yeah, I'm not
good-
opposed to the
good
event.
brisket.
I want to see it happen. It's just, I think for future events, it just needs to be carefully considered.
Yep.
So, anyway, is there a motion to approve the item?
Mayor, do you want to split off the two?
We can split it
Or-
off. We'll do this. Look, we will do why don't we, first motion would be for the, just approving the event, and then we can split it up into E1 or whatever, you know, for the alcohol during the event. How about we do that? Is there a motion to approve the event times and the request for waiver of fees?
I'll motion to approve the event times and waiver of fees.
Okay, there's a motion for that. Is there a second?
Seconded.
There's a second. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, I voted aye in case I wasn't heard. So, all right, that carries. Now, the second item would be for the sale of alcohol during the event. Is there a motion for that
A
item?
motion for the sale of alcohol during the Ivy International Brisket Cook-Off event.
Okay, so there's a motion to for the sale of alcohol. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a second. All right, so there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that by council? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And the nay vote is just for your own personal belief.
Yeah,
All right.
I appreciate you separating.
Yeah. All right, next item on the agenda is discussion, potential action on mayoral appointments of the city council. It says presented by Tyler Salcido, but we have the backup. Yeah.
This is the annual appointment of, that was done annually by council.
Thanks, guys, appreciate it.
Discussion
Thank you
among-
all very much. Have a good one. I know you had a lot of fun. You wanted to stick around, you know? You can watch it online, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have a good one.
George was asking for permission.
All these kids will never forget this moment, right?
Or
They're like,
learn to death.
Dad, remember when you bored me that time? Yeah, right?
It's not a
Right.
school night, so they're all
That
right.
was
Right.
just employees.
Hey, Chief, where
Have
you
a good
going?
one,
Chief?
thank you.
The chief is leaving
Hey,
too.
Chief, too. Chief is leaving, yeah, right? Right, okay.
He's already gonna sign up some
He's
junior.
already, Chief wants
Junior
to,
explorers.
Chief wants to
Good
learn
job.
to wrestle out there, so good luck. Yeah, he's out there.
What happened?
All right, so the next item on the agenda is the mayoral appointments for boards, commissions, and committees with council representation. There is a list of delegates and alternates. We obviously are introducing a new council member, and Councilmember Couchman is no longer here at the council, so there are his vacant positions, and we can go down the list. But if there's any desire by any of the council members to switch your boards or commissions, please say so. We can make maybe that accommodation here. I don't have any desire to change mine.
I'm good where I'm at. I just, you know what, I haven't received any notices or any, like, meetings that have been scheduled. I haven't been to a single meeting
For
A lot of
which?
committees.
for any of
I
them.
believe these
Okay.
committees.
Well,
haven't
sometimes
received anything.
a lot of these programs and committees and commissions are not very active, so you may not,
Yeah.
wow, that really cleared the room out. Look at that. There's no one here.
Have to be.
There's like an echo now, you know what I mean? It's
They're being
like,
paid to be here.
yeah, right? All right.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, there's only one I want
Salary
to,
on the
it's
clock.
obviously got my attention since the get-go as
Mm-hmm.
the film commission. If I could, I would like to remain on that, and
Okay.
hopefully they invite me to an event.
Okay,
sometime
good.
soon.
Certainly. And Councilmember Revelar, there are open positions with North County Coalition of the Arts, the Imperial
yeah.
County Community Economic Development.
I'm fine with wherever you guys like to place me.
Okay,
Put me
those
in
are,
the
those
corner.
are the open spots.
He
Is-
used to work for air pollution, so.
NOCA still exists, right? There.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
honestly, in the air pollution, I can say in the APCD, there's opportunities for grants. I know you saw like the Lion Center, they've been putting in air filtration systems in schools across the county, so
Right.
I'd be more than happy to.
Or parking lots.
Yeah,
like
parking
we did,
lots,
yeah.
paving,
Yeah.
so I'd be more happy to take Sam's,
All right,
spot
so
in
that sounds good.
NOCA, I'd
Well,
be artistic.
we will substitute then, Councilmember Revelar, for previous Councilmember Couchman's positions, and we'll continue with that, so,
Took his seat,
um,
took his committee.
thank you.
And no changes, Mr.
No changes, yeah,
Great.
no other changes. Thank you, and congratulations, Councilmember Revelar. I know you're gonna contribute quite a bit, so.
Took his seat, took his
He knows
committee.
all about that
taking it
Imperial
all.
air
Take his
pollution.
house.
It's a long title.
Hit the ground running.
Imperial Air Pollution, Imperial County Air Pollution District Board of Directors.
There you go.
APCD.
The next item is the informational reports, and that is just an update from Chief York. The backup materials there if you have any questions. And
Chief was already
Chief
to
is
come up.
already, he was already ready, you know, he was ready. But
prac-
Chief, I would like to thank you
Placeholder?
for the work that you did with the community, and you had Santa out there, and, you know,
Outstanding.
that was good work.
Is that, can we, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Chief.
So, next item is city council member reports, and we will start with Councilmember Hamby, and we'll move on. Councilmember
Mr.
Hamby.
Mayor, in addition to our swearing-in ceremony and reorganization, I got to attend one or two other swearing-in events throughout the county, and it's good to see new people stepping up to these positions of leadership, servant leadership. I got to attend an event at Palmer Auditorium where Dr. Temple Grandin came and gave a presentation hosted by Autism Support of Imperial County, and Mayor Nava was there to represent the city well. I I had the privilege of riding on a fire truck the other night, dressed in a costume. There were people that.
Were you Santa
As a
Claus?
helper. No, don't say that.
No,
He's
no, as a
not.
helper,
He's
exactly.
just a helper.
Sorry.
We're not saying that.
Breaking dreams over here, like, it's like.
Exactly. And the next day, having never dressed up as that particular helper, I had 2 other events to attend as that same costumed helper. So it really that was quite a lifetime achievement for me. I got to attend an event at the library. That was well done. A lot of kids there. Yeah, big turnout, and the city manager was there as well. And we got a photo together at that event. And,
That was a beautiful photo, by the way.
yeah, it was a good
Right.
photo.
Right.
And then, and also I got to, in that same costume, attend an event in Westmoreland and read to some kids there. And so, yeah, it was a productive week as that costumed hero. And, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this next year on council with our new mayor, our new council member, and I look for a lot of good things to happen in the city of Brawley because, as you can see by the different presentations that were made here tonight, we've got a lot of really positive things in the pipeline for the city of Brawley. So I'm excited to continue to be on council with the rest of you. Thank
Very
you.
well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Councilmember Revelar.
Yeah, thank you. No, Chief, what I was saying is, do we need to decide on that 6A? I mean, it's about to be 2023, we're still giving COVID-19 updates, do we?
Through February
Through
28th,
February, okay, all right.
the emergency will be,
Looking forward to that,
Yep.
all right. Yeah, I attended many of the events, I saw many of my fellow council members there. Do want to give a shout out to, 805, right there in downtown, ate breakfast with Santa. I don't think it was you, though, it was a
It wasn't
little
me,
darker
no.
Santa.
Yeah.
But also wanted to, after that, I went through, I went through downtown and, I went through the thrift stores. And I know we get comments sometimes on thrift stores and some of them can get, can be a little bit more organized. But, I found this suit there. No, I didn't.
I wasn't
But
asking, you got it.
I found a real nice jacket,
Makes
but
sense.
supporting that, you'd be surprised. I know some people, listen, I think it's a trendy thing for millennials and young families, and I really enjoy it, just going in and discovering it. My partner, Holly, goes quite a bit. So yeah, don't knock it till you try it. Go down to our thrift stores in downtown, and between that, 805, and some of the other things you guys have really set in place for our downtown to succeed, I think it'd be a really hot spot. I think it really can be a fun spot, keep the momentum going, especially these events, the chamber, and like I said, coordinating more efficiently. We're already funding, so it was fun to go in our downtown and with Brawley Creamery, you guys all know. So that was really good to support downtown and be there downtown and see what's going on. Also, one thing I know, I saw Chief York. I also saw, I think it was Green. I don't know his title, Sergeant, but did a CSTI training, Emergency Preparedness and Response. I know Chief York, like the back of your hands, but I think for those youngins, those wanting to see, I think during times of emergency, leaders, rise up. And I think for those young ones that may not have experienced, don't have to be voluntold to go to these trainings, want to actively and be encouraged to attend them. You'll learn a lot and make some good connections and really help you prepare for not just an emergency like COVID, but fires, earthquakes, rain. So for anyone watching, first response, please, once these trainings are announced, step up and learn and do your part. Even if you have to volunteer to go, it's a really great opportunity to get that experience in being prepared and being ready to respond to a local emergency and coordinating with different agencies and organizations. I do want to thank Tyler and Carla for meeting with me last week, going over the budget and just setting me right on a lot of things and telling me what's going on and things that have in play for this coming year and moving forward and the sustainability of our city. Hats off to you for the work you've done. Hats off to this council for identifying these 2 individuals that are really getting the city right, especially seeing some of the historic budgets in the past. So my hats off to you for really putting in the work, and also to, I don't think Chief Duran's here, but I met with Tim as well, and he's got a lot going on, and one thing at a time, Chief. But yeah, I know he came in with a lot lot of great things said about him, and he lives up to it and more. You know, I'm drinking the Chief Jimmy Kool-Aid because he is he's doing it. He's doing it. You know, he walked me through the station. I think the last time I had a walkthrough of that station was in 2011. I was in cuffs. Yeah, so
I told him the same
it
thing.
felt good to, you know, be on the other side. And so, but yeah, really seeing the men and women of that department working to protect our city. And like I said, once again, hats off to the council for once again identifying a leader within our administration and our public safety unit. So that concludes my report, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and Happy New Year to everyone listening.
All right, thank you. I would also invite you, Councilmember Rebelor, hopefully in the beginning of the next year, we could maybe visit some of the different departments together.
Oh, definitely.
I'll take you out to, I mean, there's areas like the wastewater treatment facility, water treatment facility, all those sorts of things that you can visit and see how things
You
function.
can do that for me.
I offered it, you didn't want to. You didn't want
I had to
to.
go with Tyler.
He
Hey,
didn't do that
that's
with me.
why
I'm a little jelly right now.
you
just
know,
saying.
I'll take you with me, brother,
Just
you know?
Thank you.
I'll take you to the wastewater treatment plant first.
Yeah.
Get that nice mist. There's a
beware.
nice mist that
Take me to
comes
the
through
train
there. You know
station
what I mean?
first.
Just beware, he's
Right,
taken,
right.
he's taken other council members
Right.
out there and they haven't come back.
They haven't come back, you know? Sam
Yeah, I
is
heard
still
him. That's
there,
why I didn't go.
right?
They have ways of disposing.
Councilmember Wharton.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. Just winding up the year here, I just want to put out the big kudos to all those that were involved in the Christmas tree lighting event. Obviously, city, many of us that are here, but of course the chamber for doing their part and really kind of leveling
Right.
up that event for the community. So really exciting to see. And I thought it was a great first event for us right after the reorganization. So a lot's happened in a pretty short period of time. In addition to that, actually that weekend, I put in some time, just a little bit more county time, but I also like to highlight whatever's going on out in Glamis, just because it has so much impact on our community here. With our Glamis visitors, our off-road community, not forgetting them. They're a big part of what defines Imperial County as well, right? And a lot of folks outside of Imperial County know us because of that. So Red Bull had it was their second time they've done this. I think it's going to continue to be an annual event, what they call a Sand Scramble, which had 132 entries of from complete amateurs all the way to the professional level division racing. Their UTVs or their razors out in the Glamis. So it was what you would expect from Red Bull. Pretty well done, well executed. And kind of my capacity with the Sheriff's Department, I got to go out there and be part of that and help with the public safety side of it. But again, well attended.
Can you imagine the economic impact there?
Yeah.
I mean, that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think the UDG did a 2006 economic impact study countywide, and it actually went into the tens of millions.
Oh, it is
you
tens of
know,
millions.
so,
Because
it was-
when you think about it, like when Ford
Yeah.
comes down for like a 3-day shoot
Yeah.
for a commercial, that's like $180,000 economic impact here, just in Brawley.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so that's just that. And it's, you know, a crew of like, 60 people or whatever. That is massive.
And I bring that up just from the fact that if you talk about global brands like Polaris,
Yeah.
global brands like, Red Bull, when they know where Imperial County is, but for that matter, where Brawley is, right, where they come, and many of them, as I always try to,
Gateway to-
highly encourage
gateway to
to stay
Glamis,
in
brother.
Brawley. Exactly. Go to Brownies for breakfast, all that, and that's kind of how it all works, right? That's what makes our communities go round. So anyways, fantastic event. Outside of that, I did attend today was the luncheon for our outgoing retiring sheriff, 4-term sheriff, Ray Larrera. And again, we all know that I'd like to point this out publicly that he's a sheriff that's really had direct impact on many of our law enforcement leaders, including our chief and including actually our assistant administrative position, Tommy Garcia, as well. So there's so many community leaders and great public service officials that have served and learned and were mentored under him. So we certainly, on behalf of, I hope I speak for the council, wish the sheriff Godspeed and well as he moves on to do the type of things you do in retirement, right? Kind of check the bucket list off. And lastly, I do want to extend, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, this community. And certainly to our staff and my fellow council members that you have a joyous time with your families and can't wait for the new year. So that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem Castro.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I also received a call to ride along with Santa, and for a minute, Chief York called me, and I was having trouble I was at work, I was having trouble making out what he was saying, but I thought he was asking me to be an elf. I was like, whoa. Don't get carried away, Chief. But anyways.
So did you say yes?
I said no. Maybe next year I'll dress up as an elf. You know what? I'll do it next year. How about that?
Hey,
Just to ride.
I look forward to that.
Just to ride along with Santa, I'll do it. And I'll do it for you, Chief. So, that was a little bit. Anyways, that was interesting. When I get that call, I was like,
I can't wait to see this.
oh, yeah. No, I'll do it. I swear to God, I'll do it.
You
Anyways.
said it.
It's on
All right.
record.
Swore.
It's on video
Next thing, I just saw that Chief had a brand-new coin for the police department. So I want to propose here to the council that we put together our own coin. Perhaps we all buy a few and we're able to give some out. I don't know, somebody can design it. No, we'll get on top of it. George is probably the most creative person I know, so, or Mr. Mayor. Anyways, I want to thank the staff for a very, very, very productive year. You know, I'm literally halfway through my my term. When I had my first actual meeting after the reorg is when we approved the Chief's Jimmy Duran's contract. So when he said 2 years, I remember exactly, and we were doing it by phone, right? Because we were still kind of locked down. So I was still, took me 2 years to get my sea legs under me. But
It takes a while. It certainly does. It's more, sometimes more, so you're doing a great job. No,
yeah,
it takes a long
no,
time.
and I wanted to say that honestly from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate, you know, the help, the mentorship, because you guys have, even when I'm being, you know, a pain in the butt, you guys have managed to, you know, reach out and deal with me somehow and explain things to me and help me out, you know, so I certainly appreciate that, and I'm just very excited for this next year and the year after. I haven't been this excited in a while. So I'm looking forward to and seeing all the stuff that's happened with the city, all the stuff that's happening. There's business coming in, there's, you know, some development, and we're moving, right? Some of the stuff that's coming in the south end of town and the north end, the infrastructure, the plans that are coming in. I'm really, really excited about where we're at. You know, I didn't know anything. I didn't know how Tyler handled himself. I didn't even know his name until I got elected, or actually prior to that, sorry. Prior to that.
You
And
asked me your name earlier today.
that elf guy. Anyways, and I was pleasantly surprised when I discovered that we think alike in a lot of ways. A lot of the stuff that he's doing, he's done. I'm like, I don't even have to say anything. I just kind of ask about it. He's like, yeah, actually, I was looking into that. Same thing as far as saving the city money, the streets, going forward with a lot of the infrastructure and the ideas that I thought I was going to bring to the table. I mean, this was already here, so I haven't brought anything fresh. So we're going to work on that this year. Hopefully, we can do something to bring something to the table. I was invited by the chamber to the Casablanca event in Hopeville, which you were also, Mr. Mayor, but you ended up going to Temple to that other event. So it was a good event. A little bit surprised. People were surprised when they announced that, Brawley's Mayor Pro Tem is here to present a certificate from the Assembly Member's office. They were like, Brawley? So anyways, I was gracious. I tried my best to make them laugh, and great event. Obviously, we don't want you to do anything else other than in Brawley, but if you have to go anywhere else, try out that place. So, and that's pretty much it. Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and I'm truly, truly looking forward to this 2023 and see what we can accomplish here in our city. That's all I have. And also to you guys, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your presentation. I'll keep my comments short. Thank you all very much, staff and the public and council, for working hard, and it's going to be a great year. There's a lot going on, honestly. We've had some great success over the past few years, and I look forward to seeing everything that's going to be happening in 2023. I'm excited for my own personal growth, my professional growth, for the growth within this council. You know, I live, essentially 3 lives. I have various roles, just like many of us do, and so, but it's exciting stuff for all of us. It's really good to see how staff is moving forward and working together, and the success we've had together, because it's not just one person, it's not just council, it's not just any one person. It's everybody working together to make things happen, whether they're community events or whether it's just our finance department and Carl leading that charge, or if it's our IT, or Public Works or whoever it is, police, fire, everybody. It's building departments, everybody. And, in fact, like the building department is currently seeing something they haven't seen in the past. You have this stand-up construction that's taking place out here, with Indie Dwell, tilt-up construction.
Isn't that cool?
And that's going up in record time, and it's just something that they're experiencing now, and I think the public's seeing it happen quickly. So it's all these things that are taking place, the potential for 300 jobs there, and, it's just great to see these things happen. I was honored to be able to present Indie Dwell with Project of the Year on behalf of IVEDC the other night, and it's just great to see that it's something that's happening here in the city of Brawley. It's not their first operation, and it's great to see that it's also a Brawley family that's helping put that together. I do want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for the tree assisting. They had their own event as we put on our tree lighting. City staff did a really great job with the tree lighting. I do want to thank Rachel and your staff and other city staff members that helped put that together. Thank you. But also the Chamber, I think they did a really great job. They had, if you didn't see the outline of the event and how it was laid out, they had like these booths for kids, like their own, where they could sell stuff. And there was like this 9-year-old girl, I bought some stickers from her, but she had stickers that she had designed, and she had them printed out, and they were stickers, and so it was like 3 for $5 and like a little candy and stuff like that. But they were selling their wares, and I'm sure they all had business licenses, so don't say anything, Carla, right? But no, they had it was just a good time. They had different things that they were offering. Some were offering toys, some were offering their own self-made stuff. It was really very cool. So then they had like a petting zoo and other things. So it was just very good, well attended.
Yeah.
A lot of food booths and a lot of people were out there. So it's just, it goes to show that people, they need that opportunity to get out and have a good time and be in community. So I do want to really work closely with the chamber to strengthen our relationship, because the time that I've been on council and even before that time, that relationship has sometimes been good, sometimes has been fractured, and I want to make sure that we have the best relationship that we can. It's to everybody's benefit, so that's great. And also was honored to be able to do the proclamation for Dr. Tipple Grandin. That was well attended. Councilmember Hamby was there as well. I had to leave to a different event afterwards, so I left briefly after my presentation. But it just was great to see that attendance there, a nice big crowd. And, this is somebody who's world renowned. They have a movie made after him, starring Claire Danes, and, you can see it on Netflix. It's great. And so it's all good stuff. The one other item that I'll leave you with is, we have Grocery Outlet that opened up a few months back. There have been some comments with respect to, the attendance at that particular store. And I do want to encourage the public to go out there and give them a shot. I know they've had a lot of marketing, a lot of money spent on trying to get people in there, and you go and you look at the parking lot, and sometimes there's just a few cars there. There's no denying that. I'm seeing it. I know many of the members of the public are seeing it, and they've commented to me, and I've made the comment, like, I want to make sure they're successful and they succeed, but in order to be successful and succeed, we have to be able to support these businesses. So one thing that I've made a comment on is just something, I know, while there's still construction, they have to have temporary fencing, but maybe having that removed might help, make it look like it's open and flourishing a little bit. It's just maybe something that staff and our building official can consider, just to help with this particular case. Because I think, quite frankly, a lot of people, even though there's signs that say open and all this other stuff, I think people are still reluctant to go in through the little maze. It looks a little bit under construction, so they're not as apt to go in there. That's just my own perspective, but aside from that, I ask the public to support local business here in Brawley, support whatever it is, right? Local business. But, you have a grocery store that is honestly a multi-million-dollar investment, and let's try and help support that business whenever possible. They do have great one-off items that it is like an outlet store, like what you're familiar with. But they do have, of course, the staples of food and other stuff. So give it a try if you haven't. It's a nice store. It's very clean. And that's just a call to the public to see if we can maybe rally around them a little bit to help them out, and maybe you see that you like it and you go back in there time and time again.
Mr. Mayor, I just had a comment to that many of us, we kind of have our shopping patterns, right? That just as consumers, we're creatures of habit. And I think for all of us, we probably have certain things you like to buy at Walmart, certain things you like to buy at Bonds, and certain people you like to see at Bonds that have been there a number of years. All that counts. But I think to your point on something like Grocery Outlet, it's about maybe going there and maybe discover a few things that, again, is part of your buying pattern that you can get there that maybe you don't get at the
Right.
others. And maybe in meeting with the chamber, because I know the chamber's been a huge part of their opening and their,
Right.
kind of pushing is, they do have that parking lot, maybe, I know those, tent sales and things like that, other events that could potentially happen in their parking lot to
To bring
continue
people
to
in.
bring the attraction,
Bring
not
the
that we're their
audience.
marketing department. but
Sure.
I'm just thinking of
No,
continuing to do the things that,
Great points.
get folks to come there, but I think removing the fencing
Yeah.
is a great idea. But
Yeah.
no, I'm,
Like a brisket
I-
competition.
There you go.
Yeah.
They could buy the brisket there, you know what I mean? So, good, chief.
Save all the fees.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I did not want to interrupt your report.
No, go for it, please.
Well, I absolutely appreciate the recognition you've given to the fire department for the Santa tour throughout the city, which was our third annual this year. Like many things that happen in the city, it doesn't happen without a vast amount of collaboration that often doesn't get recognized. I definitely want to recognize my fire marshal, Deputy Chief Juan Rodello. He worked in coordination
job.
with planning technician Andrea Montano for developing our
Great
maps
job.
and our
She was
route.
on there, right?
Of course, Chief Duran's staff for providing our escort. Armando Garibay helped us with the Santa tracker, which 4 days out of 5 worked perfectly. Always room for improvement.
Why was Santa at Dogwood Bar is what I want to know. I don't know. You know, right?
And we had 3 very, very special helpers, of course, on addition to our staff. Of course, Councilman Hamby helped us out, and 2 former employees. One was Mr. Brett Hauser, who's now working at IBC, and Mr. Miguel Perez, who's gone on to different pastures but still finds ways to serve the city of Brawley. So I just really want to recognize all those individuals that really did much more than I did, actually.
Chief,
And, of course,
I
my staff
appreciate
for the
you,
driving.
but that's a real leader that comes up and recognizes the people that help. So thank you very much. Big round of applause for everybody that helped out. Thank you. The public loves that, so. But no, thank you all very much. I know comments were a little long, but if you can, let's just, help our community out. There's a lot of small business out there. We have over 1,000, how many business licenses here? About
Used to be
1,200. We have about 1,200
It was
business
1150
licenses. So that
about a
means
year and a half
there
ago.
are a lot of businesses out there, big and small, whether it's Rite Aid or Vons or Walmart or Grocery Outlet or the Creamery downtown, whoever it is, or Inferno or 805 or whoever it is, right? Or my own company. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. We all are in business, whether it's Brownies or whoever, right? I mean, we're all in business. We're all trying to make $1 and pay our bills. So let's support, there's strength in numbers for sure. So do your very best. I know I will. And I tried to go into AM PM this morning. It was like 5:30, and it was closed. That was odd.
He opens for me.
Does he?
He does.
Well, you're wearing a mask, so I don't know. Maybe that's part of it.
Mr.
ski
Rodriguez
A ski mask. A ski
Mr.
mask. Get it
Rodriguez
done.
used to work for Parks and Recs. Maybe that's why he doesn't open for you.
Maybe. It could be that. But no, they weren't open, which I thought was odd. You know what I mean? So, and then I had to, since I was traveling, I had to stop at another place, and it just wasn't as friendly. So anyway, all right, everybody. Well, thank you all very much, city staff. To all of you, Merry Christmas. I sent this little care package for all. I know it's not much, but hey, it's really heartfelt. I know that, I try and do that just for you every year. Just, a little of a token of appreciation. I can't afford too much, but I do appreciate all of you. I know everybody works really hard. No, I can't. I can't.
Who you try to lie
Yeah,
to.
thank you. So anyway, all right, thank you, everybody. And we'll go to our city attorney report, who's in Japan at the moment.
You
He's
doing
in Okinawa,
taekwondo
yeah.
out there or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Short or short.
Oh, that's scary.
Oh, thank you all very much. Have a good one. Merry Christmas to everybody. Be safe.
Dialect.
Thank you.
Respect.
Yeah.